So guys, in this video today, we're going to talk about free web hosting for WordPress. Is it a good idea or is it a total mistake? That's what this video is about. If you're wanting to start a website today, this is definitely a question that you have to have answered before you get started. I wanted to talk about this topic in particular because, you know, obviously if you have a business of any kind, you're working from home, you're a marketer, you want to become a digital marketer, whatever the case is, if you want to establish a presence online, you need web hosting. And some people, you know, starting off, perhaps if you're on a very tight budget, you don't feel like you have money to really invest in a premium host, you may be tempted with the idea of trying out or using free web hosting for WordPress. So that's what this video is going to talk about. Again, this is Wally with Best Web Hosting for WordPress.net. And in addition to this video that I'm putting up, I'm going to also link to some information in the descriptions portion of this video. That way you can consult it later. So again, this video is about free web hosting for WordPress, and I'm going to talk about you know, some of the benefits, the very little benefits, if I can say that, but more importantly, the disadvantages of using free web hosting for WordPress. You know, all of us like to get stuff free. You know, free gas, free food. You know, if I can get free rent, if I can find out a way to get free rent, definitely be on that too. You know, so free is part of our daily thinking. We're always trying to look for deals, you know. But when you think about web hosting, should you go for free web hosting? You know, it's really tempting to do that. Think about some of the, you might think, okay, well, you know, free web hosting, I don't have to pay anything out of pocket. You know, I don't have anything to lose. Is it really such a bad idea? It is. And I'm going to tell you why. Although it's free, there are many reasons why I would say you should absolutely stay away from free web hosting. One of the main reasons that comes to mind I think back when I first started blogging and, you know, just trying to create like little sites. I did try out free web hosting. I tried, you know, Blogspot, which is through blogger.com, and also Wordpress.com. They have a free version as well. But there's some other options out there that that are also, you know, free that you could try. But again, there's a lot of downsides to doing so. The first one that comes into mind is advertisements. Typically, when you start, you build a website, and it's with one of these free hosts, you know, that's out there. Typically, they'll place different ads on your website. Different ads or advertisements on your website. Maybe banners, perhaps in the footer, maybe on the right side of your site, or even on the very top. And sometimes sometimes it could be okay, but more times it's not. The reason why it's not good is because, let's say, for example, you're writing about, you know, vitamins. Your website is centered around vitamins or vitamin supplements, what have you. You could probably have advertisements that are embedded, you know, through this free host, because again, you're not paying for it, so, you know, they have to pay for this free hosting somehow. They may embed advertisements maybe on the top of your website, the side, or the footer, and your visitor is coming to your website. You know, maybe you have some advertising campaign online. You wrote about a really interesting topic. They decided to click on your link. They made it to your link. But now they start to see these ads all over your website that talk about something totally different. Or it may be vitamins, and it may be your competitor's, you know, website. So what happens in most cases? Well, the visitor clicks on those. Now, that visitor that was initially interested in your product is no longer interested in it. Now they're on somebody else's website ready to buy somebody else's product when you work so hard with your content to get them to your website. So that's one of the reasons why I would definitely discourage the use of free you know, web hosting for WordPress or for any type of platform, is because, again, the bad advertisements are very irritating. You've probably seen some on other websites. People click through your website and they wind up leaving yours due to those advertisements. Another thing that I want to talk about, another disadvantage of using free web hosting, is downtime. If you don't know what downtime is, it's the opposite of uptime. Downtime is basically how much time your website is not viewable on the web. It's not visible. It's down, maybe due to a crash or whatever. This happens often with free web hosts. They don't have any guarantee whatsoever to keep your website up and running. And so the downside to that is, if you have a website promoting whatever product or service it is, if it's down when a visitor comes to your page, one, it hurts your brand, it hurts your good name that you worked so hard for, and two, that visitor is likely never to come back. Why? Because, again, your website, it wasn't up and ready, when they were trying to use it. I mean, imagine if you were on a website right now, you have free hosting, a person is on your website right now, and they're about to purchase a product on your website. And for some reason, due to it being, a free hosted website, the site crashes right then and there. I mean, how would your customer feel? How would you feel, if that was to happen? Obviously, if you had a self-hosted web hosting company, you wouldn't have this issue. You're in total control. There's 100% uptime. You don't have to ever worry about your website being down. Another disadvantage of free web hosting companies is that, sometimes when they, not sometimes, but typically, if you, for an example, with Blogspot or even WordPress, you may have an extension. Let's say, for example, XYZ name.blogspot.com, or another example, XYZ name.hostingcompany.com. And obviously, the XYZ name is what you personally select, but the tail end of that is what belongs to the company. What I don't like about these, and what you won't like, is that it's too long. The extension of the domain itself is too long, and it's very hard to remember for your visitors. Someone makes it to your site, they may like the content, whatever, but they leave the website, they may not even remember what the exact name of the domain was. All they remember is that I went to XYZ, It's an extremely long domain, which is something that is very discouraging. Shorter is always better. Shorter domains are always better. In this case, I have a site. It's, best web hosting for WordPress.net. Obviously, if you made it to this website, you're looking for best options for web hosting for WordPress. That's what you're looking for. It's a really easy domain to remember. And so if you want to avoid something like that happening, again, it's best to just have your own domain that you buy straight out and it's yours. Another downside of using these domains that these free hosts provide is that it really doesn't belong to you. It's like, I kind of liken it to a person renting an apartment. At any given time, the owner could actually put you out if they no longer want you in there on their property. It's the same way, you could write different types of content that you're sharing on your website, and maybe that host may not like it, or maybe you're getting too much traffic to that domain that you're writing on. And so as a result, being that it's so limited in space, limited in bandwidth, limited on a lot of things, these companies, these free web hosting companies, can delete you on the spot without any notice at all. Imagine that, all of your hard work thrown down the drain, no notice whatsoever, again, because they own the domain and you don't. So that's something that you could totally avoid if you go with a self-hosted premium plan. There are a lot of companies out there that you can go with. If you want to know what I personally recommend, you can check in the descriptions portion of this video, and I'll link to my recommended list of hosting companies. We talked today about frequent downtime. One of the disadvantages to getting free web hosting. We talked also about domain names. We talked a little bit about just again a lot of the down things, all of the problems that result from using free web hosting. Now what I want to talk about is some alternatives, because obviously you can see that obviously a person who starts with free hosting, you're not paying anything, but it's very costly on the back end. something I didn't mention in the video that I want to mention right now is that, whenever your website is down, it costs you money. Hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. Depending on the product, it could be millions of dollars. I mean, imagine an insurance company's website goes down, and the millions of people that flock to that website on a given hour or time of the day, and they can't get through. They can't purchase insurance. They can't, get what they're looking for. Or if you're a network marketer, you're a MLMer, what have you, that digital marketer, you're driving thousands of customers or visitors, potential customers to your website, and again, they can't, access your website because it's down. Free hosting is absolutely the worst idea. It's a terrible idea. I definitely do not recommend you to try it. Going back to, I want to talk about some alternatives. One of my top recommendations for web hosting today is SiteGround. I really like them. They're very affordable. They're dependable, reliable, very secure. They run daily updates, backups on the software, so your information is always protected. If you have any questions about the hosting itself, they do have 24/7 customer support, and that's one of the things that I like about them. They also have really, really good uptime. Never experience any outages, with their hosting, and I know you'll definitely appreciate them as well. Just to recap, you learned today why you should not use free web hosting to host your WordPress site or any platform. There are a lot of limitations that come with free web hosting. You don't get access to a lot of the top features that you will get if you do pay for it. I mentioned SiteGround. That's just one, $3.95 per month. It's very inexpensive. Anybody can afford that. My second favorite is Bluehost. I use them as well on another blog. Also, they start at $3.95 per month. It's very, very inexpensive, but you have a ton of features that'll definitely get you on your way to projecting yourself well online with your website. To find out more information about these recommendations, again, I'm going to include a link down in the descriptions portion of this video. If you're on YouTube, you can definitely access it there and just click through, get more information about it. Or if you're on my website at bestwebhostingforwordpress.net, you'll see the information there as well. I want you to do a few things for me before I let you go. I want you to tell me, what do you think about this free web hosting video? Did you like it? Did you find something in it helpful that'll help you to go forward, with building your next website? I want you to drop your comments right in the comments area, whether you're on my website or my YouTube channel. And also, I'd like you to subscribe to my channel today. That way, if you get any, if I have any future videos, which I will, going up about hosting, you'll definitely receive those right to your inbox. Again, subscribe to this channel, leave your comments right below this video, and I'll see you guys on the next.